new best friends. You're gonna find a book you'll love to pieces. The girl behind the counter recommends dollar books and shelves of graphic novels. Titles old and new, you'll find them all. With action figures, board games, toys, and models to add to your new Comic Wednesday haul. The comic book store, the comic book store. 'Cause that's where the books live, but it's also much more. It's the heart of the art form that we all adore. Your friendly neighborhood comic book store.
Good evening and happy holidays to all the fans of the Radulich Broadcasting Network. This is Source Material Live. I'm your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And ho, 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 do we have an episode for you tonight. It's our annual holiday-themed show here on Source Material Live. And we have a special holiday-themed comic that we're going to share with you this evening. I am, of course, not alone. Here to bring you holiday cheer, riding in on Dominic the donkey, waving his Italian jingle bells. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chris Sheehan. How do you do, sir?
Hey, it's been a long time since I've done a Christmas special. It's very, very nice to be here. And, I mean, I've got tomes in front of me here that I've had to blow dust off of because, I mean, there's a core tenet to this holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people say that this holiday's gotten too commercial. And you can agree with that, right? I mean, every week is a Black Friday nowadays, right? We got to spend money, But people forget what this holiday is really all about. And it comes down to one word. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody here, but that word is DESTRUCITY. And we are here to dig deep on the power of DESTRUCITY. There's a saying. I mean, this is writ everywhere you could see it. I'm thinking of having this tattooed somewhere on my body. Dreams are the movies that tell one story. Some already told, some not yet written. I've got chills.
Now, where are you getting that from?
I'm getting that from the inside front cover of Warrior #1.
Oh, yes. The Ultimate Warrior, the late Ultimate Warrior, was responsible for unleashing unto the world a 4-issue, plus the one we're going to talk about tonight, totaling 5-issue comic book called Warrior.
Yep. Through his own company, Ultimate Creations.
Back in the mid-90s, about 1996, and he was pushing this comic on Monday Night Raw during his, after he got finished burying Triple H. Mm-hmm. Did Triple H ever really recover from WrestleMania 12? Where
I've never seen him since.
No, the Ultimate Warrior no-sold his pedigree, jumped right back up like it had no effect on him, and that was it. Triple H
was never seen again.
No, and he still goes on shoot interviews and complains about it, about how the Warrior wouldn't sell for him and how it affected his career. Poor bastard.
Done deal. Yeah, him and Shane Douglas just have a really hard time. They're on the same circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. They have all the reason in the world to hate the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so speaking of snorting, the Ultimate Warrior put out this comic book back in the 90s that he pushed on Raw. It didn't last very long. Like I said, it only lasted 4 issues. But we're looking at a special Christmas-themed issue of Warrior that came out on December 1st, 1996. There's no writer, Chris. There's no writer. Lots of pencilers.
No writer. Yeah.
Lots of pencilers, but no writer. However, so this is a collection of pinup pictures featuring Warrior in Christmas-themed situations. Mm-hmm. There's no actual storyline, and it does not... Oh, and this is important.
It doesn't connect. It doesn't do it.
Yes.
And I'm flipping through Warrior #1 here, and the only difference between this one and the one we're looking at today, and Warrior #1 is that there are words in this one. They're all just big splash pages. It's very, very reminiscent, and it doesn't make story sense. So maybe they just forgot to put the words in this one. Maybe there is a story here that we just don't know.
I have to find this comic book. My goal in 2021 is not to lose weight. It's not to stay healthy. It's to find this. It's to find these warrior issues so that we can talk about them together.
I've never seen one in the wild before. I only got this one because it came polybagged with a WWF magazine back in 1996.
Yeah, that Warrior #1 was everywhere for a hot minute. They were pushing it hard. No one bought the thing, but it was available, and
sure.
They sent it everywhere for people to buy.
And you might actually misinterpret it, and you might think it's an image book. You really might, because it looks a lot like an image book of the day.
I love the Ultimate Warrior. I really do. I know, like, Jim Cornette hates them, and they did an entire DVD, which they've then, if one can retcon a real life DVD, the WWE has tried.
Oh yeah, big time.
When they put the Warrior in the Hall of Fame, they really went out of their way to go, well, we weren't getting along, but it was like the WWE acted to the Ultimate Warrior like a mad girlfriend on Twitter. Like, we weren't getting along at the time, and so we buried the guy.
That's it.
But now we're trying to get him in the Hall of Fame, so he's not all that bad.
Yeah, he's okay.
Anyway, so I love the Ultimate Warrior and everything, but this comic book, Jesus Christ. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go through this page by page, and we're going to describe in vascular detail. That has been the phrase that pays over the past week as I've been pumping this episode up. We're going to describe in vascular detail each and every one of these pages. And now here's the trick with this book. Every pinup or so has a different has a different penciler.
Mm-hmm.
So we will share that with you as we proceed through this. But I can't start describing these panels to you, these splash pages, without reading you a special message from presumably the Ultimate Warrior himself.
Before you do that, can I share with the people the actual dictionary definition of DESTRUCITY? Because
Please do. I'm putting this down. You have my rapt attention.
Okay. DESTRUCITY, pronounced DESTRUCITY, trifold in its definition, therefore meaning 1. The name of the galaxy in Warrior wherein the, quote, terrain of testament lies. 2. The living of one's life in the way of a warrior according to a warrior's 8 disciplines, which are as follows. 1. Physical. 2. Beliefs. 3. Moment of mastery. 4. Attitude. 5. Commitment. 6. Association. 7. Integrity. 8. Wisdom. Now 3, the third definition of DESTRUCITY, trifold, remember, the creating of a truce between one's destiny and one's reality, promising to stay true to what one is destined to be, yet accepting what is the now, ... one's reality.
The Ultimate Warrior is so pretty. He shouldn't talk.
This is listed as Warrior Rights from Warrior's World.
God.
That's what it says on this page. Warrior Rights from Warrior's World.
Has there been another wrestler in history that reaches this level of crazy combined with this level of full of shit?
It's usually one or the other, not both.
I think that's what makes him special, don't you think?
He's the one thing in the middle of the Venn diagram. Yes. It's just the logo, the symbol, the warrior symbol in the middle of the Venn diagram of full of shit. Crazy. I mean, I could go on and read to you the story he told about his invisible friend growing up, because that's in the book too.
Save it for when we review the book.
Yeah, we'll save that, though, because we want the people to come back. We want to whet your appetites just by saying Warrior had an invisible friend that he didn't give a name to right away. But we'll save that for later.
I really feel like they should have worked harder. With this knowledge that you're now sharing with me, and we will delve deeper into this when we review the Warrior comic at some point in 2021. This is my goal. But if it was known in 96 that he had an invisible friend, they should have worked harder in the 2000s to do Shawn Michael and God versus the Warrior and his invisible friend.
And his unnamed invisible friend.
For the tag team titles.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't know what, like, we know, I mean, not to go too far into the weeds into just actual professional wrestling discussion here, but do you think if Warrior and WWE didn't have their little schism, you know, where Warrior no-showed because his
I was going to say, which one? The SummerSlam split? The
one where Psycho Sid came in to replace him at the International Incident, and we never saw him again.
Okay, so the 96 split.
The latest one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if Warrior didn't leave, do you think that Raw and eventually SmackDown, and eventually the other weekly show they'd have, because, I mean, the WWE would be so much larger than it currently is if Warrior had stayed.
Sure.
But do you think that the tenets of DESTRUCITY would be, like, strewn throughout the show? Do you, like, think he'd be, like, talking, like, preaching to people about DESTRUCITY?
First
like
of
taking
all,
kids out of the crowd and sitting them down and anointing them with DESTRUCITY.
First of all, I think that the USA Network would have demanded another show because you know SmackDown started on UPN when that was the thing, but USA, if they had kept Warrior for more than just a cup of coffee in 1996 and had kept him, you know, and he went into,
I would have just signed the whole channel over to them, right?
Well, start slowly, and they would have demanded Wednesday night WWE Wednesday night DESTRUCITY.
I think so. I think so.
You know, now that I say that out loud, what if the Warrior had stayed? Would SmackDown be instead DESTRUCITY?
It might be.
Because The Rock would never have gotten over against the Warrior?
Because the Warrior would be the only guy to kick out of the people's elbow.
I think the whole landscape of wrestling changes for the better. For the better.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. They'd still be doing wrestling shows in front of packed houses right now.
Yeah. With COVID, by the way. Yes. Because when you have the Warrior and this power of DESTRUCITY, no pandemic.
DESTRUCITY is the inoculation.
Yes, it is the vaccine. It is the preventive cure. People are like, wow, they really hate the Ultimate Warrior. I don't. I love the Ultimate Warrior.
I don't hate him either. There's plenty of reasons to hate him. There's plenty of reasons to mock him, but...
There's definitely plenty of reasons to mock him, but he didn't walk out on my show, so I don't hate him.
That's true. That's true. He didn't hold me up for money.
Right.
And actually, I stood outside his gym. His Warrior University, which was, I mean, it isn't here anymore, but it was in nearby Scottsdale, Arizona. I saw his Jeep, I saw his gym, and there's even a picture of his gym in this very issue of Warrior #1. It's a drawing of it, and it's wrong, because it says Warrior University instead of Warrior's Gym, but I mean, they tried.
You think, like, Warrior and Steve Borden Sting are actually the same guy, but one's an evil clone?
You know, it's been a long time since I've seen them both in the same place.
That's true. Yeah. It's true. All right.
But what about Kerry Von Erich?
Oh, God. The Texas Tornado, good old peg leg?
Peg foot. Come on. Show some respect.
You're right. I apologize to the pygmies in Africa. That's a Larry the Cable Guy bit. Have you ever seen him do one of his stand-ups?
I have not. Well, I saw, like, the Blue Collar tour back, like, the first time they aired it on Comedy Central, and I don't know that I've seen it since.
I think the standalone Larry the Cable Guy stand-up that floated around for a while, he would punctuate his jokes with, "Lord, I'm sorry, and I apologize to all the pygmies down in Africa." All right. When in your discussion of the Ultimate Warrior, when you've brought up Larry the Cable Guy, it is time to turn the page, and so we shall.
Yes, let's read his intro, his missive to the readers.
Can we start off with the fact that already I want to throw this comic against the wall?
Well, I don't think we've told people about the cover yet, which is actually drawn by a future Marvel editor-in-chief. It's Joe Quesada.
Yes, famously Joe Quesada.
Wild.
So if you haven't seen the cover of this thing yet, we have the Warrior logo. It's in color, not like issue number 4, which is black and white. This is in color. And the Ultimate Warrior seems to be wearing some sort of
loincloth.
Yeah. I almost said tunic, but I meant loincloth. He has a loincloth underneath his mustache. Shout out to you, Curly. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Jesse knows occasionally I will reference people from my personal life that no one knows who the hell I'm talking about.
I was going to pretend I knew and laugh anyway.
So the warrior, full of Christmas cheer, he's got a sack full of who the fuck knows over his shoulder, a green sack. He's wearing a Santa cap. He of course has his warrior mask on, his face paint. He is full of musculature, as he would be.
Goodness.
Yes. You're not kidding when you say this looks like an Image comic. Oh my god.
Does? Yeah.
And there's a house with Christmas lights on in the background, and and a snowy landscape.
Yeah. And a near naked man on top of it.
So far, so good.
You don't get any better than that.
All right. So the inside cover is black and white. Now, Chris, let me ask you a question. If you were going to put block print, over an entire page of a black and white drawing, what color font would you use?
Salmon pink.
This is so hard to read.
You can't read this shit.
I'm like,
it somehow makes more sense when you can't read it, but you still can't read it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try here. I'm gonna hold it up to my face like an old man.
Oh God, you need like trifocals for this.
Did this come with a decoder ring? What the hell?
Maybe you gotta cross your eyes a little bit and it'll come into focus.
All right, here we go. Happy holidays, warriors. Sure you do. You remember. How can you forget? You were going to catch him that year. Catch him red-handed. Catch him with half the people listening to this are just like, holy shit, this is funny with him the way he's reading it. The other half like, fuck this guy, I can't listen to this podcast anymore. Catch him with the goods. With your goods. Now you remember. Getting warm and fuzzy. Aren't you? I swear to God it reads this. Can
you imagine warriors like hunched over a fucking typewriter writing this out?
No, first of all, I don't imagine him. He was pacing the room frantically, while his wife wrote it down. Sure, but I don't think he's typed in his life. YouTube videos aplenty, because queering don't make the world work. But surely you've seen that video.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Well, I mean, really, what good wrestling fan hasn't? All right. One of the greatest nights was Christmas Eve. You went to bed knowing that when you woke the next morning, the breaking and entering that took place was okay, cause the burglar left the goods instead of cleaning you out. Except for the cookies and milk, of course. You never caught him. But hey, man, the dude was there. You've got his whole page of this.
You're not even like a third of the way through it.
You felt him. I just want to stop and say, I'm not high. I'm not. I have not had any alcohol. I'm not on any drugs. I haven't even taken Advil for a couple of days, and that's a first in 2 months. Oh boy. Okay. You felt him, and a couple of times you even had a blurry vision of him. So he sort of looked like Dad, but you couldn't swear it was Dad. And besides, he was at your buddy's house too. It had to be real. You believed it, and that made it real. Then one year, an asshole. Oh yeah. Relatives love to be the bearers of this kind of devastating news. Presents himself and proceeds to smarten you up to this idea that Santa Claus is fictitious and Christmas is only for kids. Quote, "Aw, man, what a bummer," you say to yourself. Careful not to show how you really feel while you run home to Mom and ask her the second most difficult to answer question you'll probably ever ask her. Number one being, hey, Mom, is
Where
this
do
thing...
babies come from?
Close. Hey, Mom, is this thing hanging between my legs good for anything other than just peeing?
Yes. He actually says this.
Wow. Who the fuck is this for?
Us.
Two middle-aged men who grew up watching wrestling.
30 years later.
Taken. Stolen. Never to given back. Just suck it up, boy. You're a man now. The subcontext of this first run-on paragraph is laden with sexuality. And I don't know if he meant to do that or not.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he wrote this after he saw all the vascular imagery that we're going to cover in a little bit. Maybe he was just really in that mood.
I'm now just, like I said, just picturing him. Did you ever watch the UFC?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember back when it was fun to watch? Dennis Hallman came to the cage in just a banana hammock with one ad on it.
Okay.
I'm picturing the Warrior furiously stomping around his study, his den, just in Dennis Hallman's banana sack, screaming this out while his wife furiously writes it down.
This thing dangling between my legs.
Like, I'm almost picturing like he was done with the comic, it didn't sell, he was like, alright, I can't do this anymore, I need to move on to other ways to rip off my fans, like a gym in his school. And then, like, one night in one of his just crazy Warrior rants, he's just storming around this house in a banana hammock screaming about Santa Claus, and his wife was like, you know what? We should take this almost domestic violence and make a comic out of it. Sure, your first attempt at this went poorly, but people like Christmas.
And the Warrior is not enough to turn people off from Christmas.
No.
Is he?
Okay, moving on. Up until then, you had faith. Life was good. Barney was your beagle, the best friend you ever had. Not some purple dinosaur, and Santa Claus was the epitome of ultra-exclusive customer service. A badass dude who always got the job done. Oh, sure. He forgot a thing or two on your list once in a while. But hell, your list was 65 pages long. And you knew you had your buddies to take care of as well. He had your buddies to take care of as well, sorry. Remember, life is the challenge. What to do? Chances are that special asshole relative will be at the upcoming Christmas dinner. You know the... Christ almighty. You know the
it
one...
gets worse.
Where all...
I mean better.
all points... Where all points family truce is in effect until New Year's Eve with the booze. The gloves come off. Spilling his pitiful story about... Fucking Christ almighty, dude! Spilling his pitiful story about how his or her life is nothing but a tragedy. I've been on this earth for almost 45 years. Our Christmases are just fine. And we don't always get along, but we managed to pull it together on Christmas. I don't know what he's on about.
Yeah. This is like a George Carlin bit here at this point.
Leader, get out of the way. Leader, get out of the way. I obstruct. Good for fucking you, George. Hi. Hey, Lily, I'm just gonna turn to a random page in here, and I want your honest reaction. Come here. What do you think about that?
What in the world is that?
That would be the Ultimate Warrior strangling the Grinch.
Well, that's just sad. I feel bad for the poor Grinch.
Okay, go away now.
I feel bad for the Grinch.
I'm sure you do. All right, where were we?
What was it? How his life was never amounted to anything.
Right, okay. Nothing but a
That
tragedy.
asshole.
Yes. Well, when Fatso opened his mouth this year, shoved the special edition Warrior Winter Wonderland pinup book down his throat. I did mention that that there was a subtext of domestic violence in this. And say, paybacks are hell, aren't they, Uncle Joe? And remember the 2 pilots. All right. After the smoke clears, snatch your grandma's favorite pumpkin pies. Go ahead, take them all. Nobody fucks with a Santa savior. Trust me.
Quote, nobody fucks with a Santa savior.
That's going in the promo for this. Along with a few dozen chocolate chip cookies, a keg of milk, some Metallica Christmas melodies, and a few good buds. Interpret at your own risk. Now plant your ass next to the crackling, you can hear it, can't you? Of a rich, pinion-smelling... oh my god, the parentheses in this. You can smell it, can't you? Full-blown, rustling campfire. Now let your eyes venture into the chill of the night while time runs back to these handful of days when believing was good, real good. Back to the nights when you knew he was coming. Back to the lines before the system stole what wasn't theirs to steal. Oh, good, because what I like in my Christmas book is a good conspiracy theory. And a political agenda. But this time, you're going to catch him. And this time, he's going to stay, because old friends promise to never cease believing. All about believing. Merry Christmas, Warriors! Okay, I need a breath. So, can you do me a favor? Because the next page is more text.
Okay, yes. And you know, if you're gonna do a gradient from like peach to white, neon lime green is a good font color for that, right? Let's see if I can actually read this here. Ultimate Creations Incorporated presents what the storytelling extraordinaire. Oh God, it says that. One of the oldest and greatest stories ever told revolves around a seasonal character that has captured the imagination of what has to be every single human being that has ever walked upon the earth as we know it. If not everyone, then certainly anyone since the creation of his story. That's big, bold, and bad. And Hollywood claimed to make all the superstars.
And the Jews! And the Italians!
That goes back to the Colin bit. Let's see here. And while you're at it, stroke this dick. The warrior just told you to stroke his dick. My contacts at the North Pole have informed me that in recent years Santa has gotten a bad rap as a goody two-shoes. Elf Comicdom has asked if I could help set the record straight in exchange for a few cases of what the fuck?
Nude Barbies.
And enlighten those in the know, fanboys, as need to know stiffs who don't read comics. I can't read this word here.
Well, you know about the truths.
Oh, say no more. Already done. Santa carries with him self-imposed something?
Vision,
characteristically a jolly courier of Yuletide's somethingness.
happiness.
Yet in the universe
This is like reading with my son, by the way.
Dude, I wish I could read this stuff. Yet in the universe of DESTRUCITY, we are fortunate in something.
We are fortunate he is seen differently in the minds of some.
Jesus.
All right. Are you ready?
I don't know. I think my eyes have crossed involuntarily at this point.
I was afraid we were...
Where this gradient is, every word that I struggled with here, you know exactly where the gradient was.
Yeah.
It was right there.
It's not bad when it's on the darker auburn part of the page. But yeah, as it goes into the white, like I can see it better than I could see the red on the white. But yeah, you could see where like you really have to get in close.
Yeah.
As the page change color.
And my digital library, copy here is not in the best quality.
Sure. Yeah, I have the physical. I went and got this on eBay.
$85 well spent.
Absolutely. All right. Just so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. Mm-hmm. The front cover is Joe Sagata, Jimmy Palmiotti, and colored by Atomic Paintbrush. Page 2 and 3 pinup, Dan Lawless on pencils, Jeff Albrecht on inks. 4 and 5, Larry Stroman. 6 and 7, Jim Callahan. 8 and 9, Ron Lim and Callahan on inks. 10 and 11, Dietrich Smith and Callahan again on inks. 12 and 13, Flint Henry. 14-15, Dwayne Turner. 16-17, Bart Sears. 18-19, Rick Hoberg. 20-21, Nelson. 22-23.
I love that band.
Jim Callahan again. Page 24, inside back cover. Merritt Michaels, Callahan on inks. All other appendix except cover were colored by J.D. Smith illustrations. Okay, let's dig in.
One more thing, though. We do see what's inside the bag here on the inside front cover. It's candy canes and a troll doll and a Warrior comic. That's what Warrior was carrying on the cover, I think.
All of those things were on my Christmas list in 1996.
Oh, yeah. If only there were some Pogs in here, it'd be great.
Okay. The first one, innocently enough, sort of. I mean, the concept of the evil Santa Claus is not lost in popular media. We have, I think, 1 or 2 bad Santa movies, So I think drawing Santa looking a little dastardly, a little evil is not totally outside the border of, sanity.
Sure.
So we're here. It appears to be the Ultimate Warrior again, but this time he's got a full Santa beard and
and he's dressed.
Yeah, he's definitely wearing pants. He's got the sack. The sack seems to be full of presents. It may even be full of presents that are toys. Who knows? We can't say.
Yeah, there was a head there. It looks like a little doll. Maybe it's one of those nude Barbies he was looking for.
Maybe. We just got rid of a bunch of nude Barbies. We cleaned up my kids' rooms.
Did you, if only we had his address.
You know what? That's what we should have done. I should have sent the entire, box of nude Barbies we gave away to Mrs. Warrior.
To Titan Towers, care of Dana Warrior.
Yeah. All right, so there's not a whole lot going on here in this first one. It's pretty innocent.
It's tame, yeah.
Yeah, very tame. All right, the next page, we go right into horror movie.
Yeah.
The Warrior, and he's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah. He's emerging from a fireplace that's on fire.
Yeah. And he's wearing a Santa cap, and he's got candy canes in his hand, and the fireplace is now broken because he's so large, and he's scaring 2 small black children. I don't know why he erupted from the fireplace to scare these 2 black children, but Hollywood, if you're listening, there's your next pitch for a movie.
That's it.
Okay, Jordan Peele, you're the new king of horror, and you seem to aim a lot of it at our African-American population. There you go. Crazy half-naked man with face paint chasing black people in their coming
out of a flaming fireplace on Christmas.
Flaming fireplace, yep. Make of that what you will, Jordan Peele. You're the talented one. Okay. The next page is full of Christmas cheer.
It is. And Warrior, I think this is post-coitus.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, so the Warrior seems to be playing with toys, and there's a child, this time a Caucasian child, crouched behind the couch. Not entirely.
Hiding.
Hiding. Not entirely sure if he's in awe of Warrior here, or if it's like, why is this large shirtless man playing with my toys? Is the impression you're getting from this picture that the Warrior's like, fuck the kids? And I don't mean like sexually, I mean like to hell with the kids.
He's got a look on he's got a look on his face like he's very, very satisfied.
That's the thing, like, he's playing with the kids' toys as if to say, I'm going to ruin your Christmas by playing with your stuff so you can't.
He has no pupils in his eyes, so I don't know what he's looking at. But he looks very pleased, and I don't even think he knows that there's a kid hiding behind the couch.
Yeah. As we go through this comic, let's count the amount of pictures he's not wearing a shirt in.
All of them. The first, well, he was wearing it when he was outside as Santa. He was wearing a shirt.
He had the full Santa getup going on. All right. The Christmas tree. There's lots of toys everywhere.
Yeah, and an X-wing there, a parachute guy.
Yep.
Yeah. And the tassels are just everywhere. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, the tassels are like Spider-Man's webs in a Todd McFarlane comic.
Yes, it's very, very McFarlane-esque. It's either Spidey's webs or Spawn's never-ending cape. It's very similar.
Very 90s.
Oh boy.
So this is the splash page I showed my daughter as she was passing through the living room, and the Grinch is being strangled with one hand by a warrior who has just warriored up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet.
It's either the Infinity Gauntlet or he's got like bare knuckle wraps on.
It's true, and he's like completely blonde here too. He's a platinum blonde here. It's pretty wild. And no shirt, of course.
And of course, no shirt. That goes without saying at this point, doesn't it? His hair is very long.
Very long.
Like his hair was never that long in real life.
No. Few people's were.
Yeah, unless you're like an Asian gal.
Yeah,
your hair is never that long.
And the tassels are everywhere. He should have been choking the Grinch with the damn tassels.
Really? You think the tassels have a mind of their own? Like, like it's
They're
Venom
symbiotic.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there's your Carnage movie right there.
There are so many Venomized Funko Pops. Like, if you name the character, whether or not they've actually been Venomized, they've made a
There's
Funko
a
Pop.
Yeah.
Hot Topic right now actually has a box that you can get with a T-shirt and a glow-in-the-dark Funko Pop of a Venomized Groot.
Oh God, we need a Venomized warrior, big time.
Did you ever? And I can't say read because, from what I understand, this particular installment of a singular Groot series was utterly wordless. But did you ever pick your way through the Groot series?
I don't get Groot. I don't get the joke of him.
Okay.
I don't get the gimmick. I think he's fine as like a character on a team or something, but when they started making whole volumes about him, it's like, okay, what now? You're conning, you're stealing money every time someone buys an issue of this.
I'll tell you what. Somebody at Marvel and Disney saw the Guardians of the Galaxy second movie with Baby Groot and was like, what else can we make a baby out of and make millions and millions of dollars? Oh, fucking Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just watched the Star Wars Holiday Lego show on Disney Plus, and there's a bit, the premise is that Rey, you've not seen any of these movies, but bear with me. Rey has this time travel device.
I saw the real 3 Star Wars movies.
Sure.
The real ones, but
yes.
That's it.
Not the terrible ones that Disney put out.
I didn't see anything but the real 3.
Okay, you're not missing anything. Either way you go. But long story short, she has this device that allows her to travel through time and space, and so she sees different scenes of Jedis being trained. There's one of Luke, there's one of Anakin, so at one point, her and Darth Vader are like fighting through time and space, like Doctor Doom and Mr. Fantastic. From the awfully drawn issue that I'm remembering from when I read Fantastic Four. They fought through time and space once, which had the best line in it, by the way, by Ben Grimm, who was just like, "You two take forever to say something that's really short." Anyway, they're fighting through time and space, and so they're going through different, just random scenes of the Star Wars universe of all 9 films. And at one point, they pass through the Mandalorian. And my kids don't pay any attention to the Mandalorian. They don't reference anything. All they just yelled out is "Baby Yoda, we love Baby Yoda." This is what I mean when I say Baby Yoda is a puppy.
My wife is in love with it too. Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on. All right. So, I don't know if the Warrior had kids when this concept of picture art was created, or what experience he has with this kind of an event. But what it is children going to visit Santa and sitting on his lap.
Yep.
So we have a gaggle of various children of various races. Mm-hmm. One of them appears to be an elf.
It's the Burger King Kids Club.
That blonde in the front has really sharp-looking ears, so she's either an elf or a Vulcan.
Yes. Maybe both.
I don't know why one kid brought a bat.
Yeah.
There's a sign that reads, "Line starts 1 mile back." I have been there. And you might be asking yourself, dear reader, dear listener, well, where's the Warrior? Well, the Warrior is dressed up as shirtless Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a kid with a really long list.
Probably
and a pencil.
65 pages long.
Yeah. And the Ultimate Warrior is sitting there as Santa with the child on his lap and just rolling his eyes.
And thunder thighs like a sumbitch.
You know, Bailey keeps saying we should try to get this author or this artist on the show for an interview, and I'm always like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, I have so much fun talking to you and Jesse and Bailey and anyone else, you know, and Alexis. Mm-hmm. You know, but I got to behave myself if I have a real person on.
Sure.
I would deign to get over that if I could just interview Dana Warrior. And ask her, what the fuck is up with your late husband? Did he hate Christmas? And if so, why?
And did he have the bubonic plague or elephantitis? Because
those are some large thighs.
Oh, and I don't know that they're completely thigh.
Well, here's my thought here. He has to have, you know, in this picture, the point of this picture, the story here is that kids must sit on his lap. He must have a sturdy lap. And therefore, he has big thighs. And
giant testicles protruding from each leg.
Really? I thought that was thigh muscle. Those can't be his balls.
Maybe it's a Rorschach test that I failed. I don't know.
Why does the Warrior hate Christmas so much? What is the point here? I need to know. I want to talk to his wife.
We need to. It's like or his kids find out what did he get you for Christmas? Did you ever was Christmas just like a lights out affair, no tree, no nothing, or what was it?
I think one of his kids wants to train to be a wrestler, and I'll trade her the exposure on the world famous Radulich and Broadcasting Network to find out if her dad hated Christmas or not. That is all I want to talk to that person about.
I think so.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Mm-hmm. Them too.
I don't like this artwork on the next page.
Is one of these kids smoking a cigarette? Does one of the kids have a goatee?
Okay, so we're still back on the Santa lap thing.
On the very last kid in the line here, I think it's a bald old man with a goatee.
I didn't even notice that. You were right. Yeah, that is a middle-aged black man smoking a cigarette. What is he going to do to those kids? I'm sorry, what?
You haven't watched Dexter yet, right?
No, sir.
Okay, this is because you'll meet a guy named James Dokes, and I think this might be him. He's the one who he's kind of a meme now. Like his catchphrase is "Surprise, motherfucker," and he says it a lot.
Okay.
So you'll like the guy. I like him a lot.
What is he going to do?
But he looks like him.
What are they going to do to those children? Why is he in this picture?
and he's got like his eyebrows cocked.
Yeah, he's doing like
he has evil intentions.
He does. He wants to know if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Well,
I
one kid
can't-
can't because he's got his fingers up his nose. So
I can't. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so the Warrior does have 2 children. Did he hate children in 1996? And
who drew this one?
I don't know, but okay. So what page are we on?
I don't even. They're not numbered, which sucks. Could it be Dietrich Smith?
Hang on.
I think it's Dietrich Smith.
3, 4.
There is a signed thing on the bottom of the panel, but I can't read it.
Okay, so
Right,
it's
there's
panels
twisted-
9 and 10, or rather 10 and 11. Sorry, yeah, Dietrich Smith and Callahan.
We got to find Dietrich Smith and find out what's up with that old man.
Yeah. I still want to talk to either Warrior's kids or his wife and find out what the fuck on Christmas.
Maybe Dietrich Smith is our lifeline to the Warrior family.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Got to think big.
Well, since I'm looking at it already, and the next one is by Flint Henry. Are you familiar with this particular artist at all? Because I hate this.
I know I've seen him before, but I couldn't tell you where. It's a very busy page. It's a very busy page.
It's gross is what it is.
It's also very disgusting here. There seems to be a one-eyed, one-armed, flying purple people eater here, attacking Santa Claus and eviscerating reindeer. Like there are guts and stuff all over the place, and there's elves being devoured. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and it's like, and the elves all look like they've been doing 8 balls,
except for the
Coke.
one with the big boobs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's pretty hot looking.
there you go. Thank you, Mr. Henry.
But the elves are gross.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a splatterhouse kind of a thing. Even the Warrior, who in every one of these pictures, is drawn super muscular, super 90s and everything. Like, no joke, no sarcastic comment about that. But even here, it's like this artist tried to draw him all veiny and muscular, and he just looks gross. He looks like Swamp Thing.
Yeah, he just looks like piles of meat.
This is nightmare fuel.
It is. It really is. And it's... What is this purple monster that's attacking Santa?
I think you had it right when it's clearly from the Cthulhu dimension.
It's a horror that our we're not even seeing the whole thing now. Our brains can't even... We need Betty Page in here. We need Betty Page to read something backwards and get this thing back to where it came from.
I'm going to turn the page here. Here we go.
Let's do it.
This is the one that every
This is
time I have
the-
brought this up with somebody, this is the one they bring up.
Yeah, this is the money shot.
Yeah. This is the zenith of our story.
Mm-hmm.
Santa, with a pregnant belly.
Yep.
is
And an outie belly button.
Yeah. He is chained up against what appears to be a tree.
Yeah.
And there's the Warrior with the head of a reindeer, tassels, and a loincloth. This looks like the beginning of a Nicole Bass bondage video. Starring Nicole Bass as the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And is this actually continued from the gory picture before? Because he's holding a reindeer carcass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reindeers were destroyed by the purple people eater. And then there's a pile of dead elves here who were killed by the purple people eater. Is this a continuation?
It might
Is this
be
a serialized story?
Well, okay, so is the Warrior like, I'll save you, Santa, from the flying purple people eater, but then I'm going to
shackle your ass to a tree
and burn down the North Pole and have my way with you, like I want to.
That's something we didn't mention here. The North Pole is in flames.
What a Faustian bargain! Save me! Save me! There's a Cthulhu monster trying to eat me and my elves. I'll save you, Santa. Squirt. But then you're going to grant me my Christmas wishes.
Holy Jesus!
I'd like to show you my DESTRUCITY underneath my loincloth.
Oh. And the tassels are everywhere. The shirts are off. I mean, Santa's shirt is off. It's
So, I've been a fat guy most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a belly for a good part of that. Not as
Not
distended
as
as...
distended. I mean, this thing looks like a Fabergé egg. It's got cracks going up the side of it.
This looks like he's about to burst open and aliens or xenomorphs are going to pop out.
It's the rest of the reindeer.
But that's fine. I'm okay with all of that. What I'm not okay with is that to the side, surrounding his distended alien egg belly are ab muscles.
He's got abs. Yeah.
As a fat guy, and a fat guy for most of my life, you don't get to have a belly and abs at the same time.
You don't just do side crunches all day? you work those obliques out? Yeah, Santa's on 8-minute side abs here.
Okay, so I do feel like this is a continuation of a story.
It's gotta be, right?
Because the next page is the warrior, no face paint because it's sweated off, and
oh my god, if you, I'm reading this via digital here, and if you're scrolling down to find this one, it looks very phallic before you get to the actual picture.
Well, okay, so the warrior, like Conan, has slayed.
And I think he's completely nude at this point, right?
He's still got the loincloth on.
He's got tassels. I don't know if that's his loincloth or just tassels. He might be completely nude.
I mean, like I said, whatever is left of his loincloth. Yeah. So the face paint's gone. The loincloth is there, but it's in tatters. He's got a sword between his legs stuck into the ground. And I guess these are elves. These are different kinds of elves, or these are Lilliputians. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But there's severed heads all around him of the ogres that he has slayed on behalf of Santa.
I wonder if Drew McIntyre got his gimmick from this.
Ugh. That tells you a lot about the WWE these days. Like, hey, Drew, you can't seem to get over no matter what you do. What would make you interesting? What would make people really get into you? A good story? No, we'll give him a sword.
Warrior comic.
All right, you've changed my mind. I think that would have made this more interesting.
Oh man, there's so much blood. There is so much blood. And what is Warrior sitting in?
Santa's throne? Well, no, I guess
With
it's not.
Thornton. I mean, is it like? Did he go down to hell or something?
All right, so this has to be some sort of ogre kingdom, because those are all ogre heads, or oh gosh, the orcs,
Trolls,
maybe.
Orcs, yeah. They're
along
in
those
that
lines.
family.
And I guess he's sitting in one of their thrones because there's horns on it. Because I first thought it was like he had conquered the North Pole after raping Santa.
He saved Santa from the Martians, and then the orcs and the trolls.
Right, and then sat in Santa's chair, but that can't be Santa's chair. It's like full of horns and shit.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. Next.
Okay. So, someone inspired by the Superman comics.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Drew this next page. It's a bunch of people.
It's a tent city.
Yeah. Homeless folks, we would assume, and they are lovely, drawn, nice-looking folks. They're standing around a fire in a drum, and Santa's in the night sky, lit by moonlight, and in flies the Ultimate Warrior, like Superman, again, only wearing a loincloth.
Yeah. And the loincloth doesn't seem to cover a whole lot. Thankfully, he's in shadow.
You think that's just tights? It's like just two-tone tights?
No.
Okay, it's a loincloth. I got it.
No, it probably is.
Because the way this is drawn and colored, I'm not entirely sure that that's his skin tone.
I don't know. Yeah. It might just be the light from the hobo fire. I don't know.
It might be.
But he is waving to Santa, so I guess they put their differences aside here.
Yeah, I like this one. This one I would hang up on my wall.
It's not bad at all.
No,
it's not bad at all.
A city skyline, Santa lit by moonlight, a picture of Christmas cheer of unfortunate homeless folks, a child with his arms stretched out, waiting to hug Santa Warrior, and Warrior coming in with flowing locks.
Totally.
When they were putting together this comic, and they were asking Warrior, like, how do you want to be portrayed? And the Warrior was like, well, really, you should use your artist's, conception of what I am. Just make sure in every picture the tassels are unbearably long and chaotic.
Oh, yeah. Half his personality's in those tassels.
If he wrestled in tassels that long, he'd have tripped over everything.
Oh, imagine that. That could have been the new boom era right there.
Didn't work for Titus O'Neil. It wasn't going to work for the Warrior.
Maybe that's why the Halloween Havoc match went the way it did. The tassels just weren't long enough.
All right. On the next page, we have what appears to be a carjacking.
A minivan jacking.
I don't know what the hell's happening here.
Well, we do learn something very, very important about the Warrior here. We've been asking how he feels about children.
Yeah.
Well, now we know that he owns the Warrior Orphans Home.
Yes. Property.
Can you imagine? Like, I'm picturing like an Oliver Twist with the Ultimate Warrior as like the headmaster. Could you imagine that?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Jesus.
Okay, so unfortunately I need more context here because I can't tell if these guys work with the Warrior and they're helping him steal presents. Well, okay, so there's a couple of angles that this could be. Okay, so the Warrior and his gang of ne'er-do-wells might have
a brotherhood of evil warriors.
Might have hijacked this van and stole its presents for the orphans. That's one way of looking at this.
He's a regular Robin Hood.
Yeah. Another thing might be that those guys were in the van, and he was coming, and those are stolen presents, and he's taking them back. It's hard to tell. Could be.
He might just be Kool-Aid Man. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because he's bursting through a wall here, I think, and shirtless, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And here's the thing. There are 4 other gentlemen. 2 of them are stacking presents on the cart that says Property of Warrior Orphans Home.
Yes, and 2 of them look like they just shit their pants.
Yeah. That's what I say. I don't understand, like, are they working with the Warrior or against him? Is he saving the day? And there's presents, like, strewn everywhere. I need more.
All over.
I need more of what's going on here.
What we should have done is take the letter that Warrior wrote us in the beginning here, cut out the words like Burroughs, and just paste the narration on each of these pages here where it makes the most sense. Sure. Like this could be like, you tell that asshole, don't fuck with Santa Savior. That could have been the caption for this page.
Our next one, if the other one was inspired by Superman, this next one is inspired by Spider-Man.
Yes, he is whipping.
And he is hanging by rope from what appears to be a chimney. His hat has come off. He's got his hair in a ponytail, which he did a lot in late 96.
Yep.
His beard's coming off, his fake beard.
He looks like a hairy-chested man.
Yeah. There are presents once again strewn about. Candy canes, teddy bears, and a Warrior comic.
Number 1. Yeah.
It's too late, but if there were time, I would insist that my wife get me a Warrior number 1 comic book. That's my takeaway from this Warrior Christmas book, is that every good boy should have a Warrior issue number 1 comic for Christmas.
Well, if not, I think you should ruin Christmas for everybody, just like he told us in the beginning of the book. You just be like the worst shit you can be. Ruin Christmas. Tell someone to stick it up their ass. You have the comic right there. You have the Christmas special to stick up your Uncle Joe's ass. Do that until you get the book. Be perfectly fine. So Warrior would have wanted it that way.
He's not wearing a shirt in this one.
No.
Drink every time we say that, you'll have alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, R.I.P., yeah.
But he's definitely wearing pants.
He has pants, yes. This isn't just two-toned skin. This is actual pants.
Yeah. It's pants, not either a loincloth or tights that look like bare naked legs.
Yeah.
All right. And here we come to the glorious conclusion.
Oh, Lord.
So,
I feel like we're reading these out of order. This is very avant-garde storytelling.
Okay. So clearly he was wearing tights earlier in the book, because if you look here, the light is on him properly so that you can see the outline of tights as he's trying to wear Santa's pants. Why is he wearing Santa's pants? Because Santa has been knocked unconscious, milk strewn over his...
I hope that's milk.
I'm not sure actually what that substance is, because he wasn't drinking milk. He was drinking some sort of alcohol.
Yeah.
Cheap-ass booze. That's what that says.
Okay, yeah, but there is definitely a viscous white fluid on his right pec, down his right arm.
So, in my assumption of the story that took place here, the warrior knocked Santa unconscious after he was already in a stupor from drinking cheap-ass booze, proceeded to ejaculate on his pecs, and then thought, I'm a pretty girl, I want to wear Santa's clothes.
I wonder if, like, maybe Santa was servicing Warrior orally?
That's a possibility.
And our headcanon is all over the place with this one, but...
Yeah. Between the Santa...
It does appear to be nighttime out, but it is broad daylight at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, summer moon type deals where it's still daylight, but the moon's up.
Yeah.
I don't understand what possessed them to do this. Why do we need to have sexualized Ultimate Warrior and Santa Claus? I mean, I know why, because it's awesome, but...
Yeah, it doesn't get any better.
Right. I mean, look, people are just like, I don't know what version of Radulich this is, but this is the same guy that asked for, pornographic shipping between a My Little Pony and whatever dragon thing was in that thing. So, and that was only a few weeks ago. So it's not that I'm against this sort of thing. I'm just like... Christian, I just wanted to be in the room when this was being put together and pitched. Here's a thought. What the comic book world needs, what wrestling fans need, is a book that sexualizes both you and Santa Claus. And everyone was like, yeah, no doubt, sure. And so this thing was created and put into the world. I just needed to be there for that conversation.
I'm thinking that Santa got undressed voluntarily because his shirt is neatly, folded atop the mantle.
Lily, come here. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I want to show you something real quick.
Oh, no.
You should be.
Oh,
come a little closer to the microphone.
Oh, no.
Scared.
Oh, no.
Come here.
I don't trust this.
Okay, but we're doing this bit anyway, so come closer to the microphone.
Right.
What do you think about this?
Oh, no.
Turned right. This girl can't handle kissing in a movie. She's definitely not down with a strewn about Santa Claus and Ultimate Warrior trying on his pants.
What are you doing?
Ruining comics for everybody.
Ruining comics, ruining Christmas. I don't want that guy to come on Christmas Eve.
Dad.
You say you're sad now because of me? Woohoo! All right, go away. Let Daddy finish recording. All right. No, she's watching The Crown.
Oh, Lord.
Christian, this is your fault.
I have no regrets.
We've done so many Christmas shows. This is our first one that I have laughed this hard at.
A pleasure to be of service. Holy cow.
This was a hoot.
It absolutely was. If folks, I mean, you could find these images online if you look for them, and we recommend you do, because they need to be seen. They really need to be seen. There's a whole feature on it at iMockery you could find where every page is there in glorious color. So. Yeah, I don't know. Just that last page with Santa naked and covered in a viscous white fluid. what does an artist's mind's eye see that makes them produce such a thing? Who is that? Is that Merritt Michaels? There's another guy we got to find.
Yeah, I'm now on like the hunt for other stuff these people have been responsible for.
Oh Lord.
Hang on. Yeah, Merritt Michaels.
Yeah. I would say that, like, now that Joe Quesada is part of this, that One More Day is not the worst thing he ever did, but...
All right, so I'm on Comic Vine. Merritt Michaels... Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Christian. He's made 11 appearances in Grimm Fairy Tales, which, if you don't know what Grimm Fairy Tales are, it's like slightly horrific... horror books. We're going to do one later in the year for St. Patrick's Day. But all the women...
He's local to me.
All the women are buxom. It's all cleavage and horror monsters. It's fantastic.
Oh, boy.
Grimm Fairy Tales. Check them out. They were all over the Ollies the last time I went there.
Oh, boy.
He's also done Brigade, Threshold, and Blaze Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other guy we wanted to look up?
Oh, Dietrich.
Dietrich. Okay.
Dietrich Smith.
Yep. Okay. He also did Blaze Brothers, but he worked on Battlestar Galactica, Death of Apollo. He worked on Victor Laval's Destroyer and The Next.
Okay, The Next. That was a DC thing.
Yep.
I think I actually have a few issues of that because I have a few issues of everything because I'm an idiot. But yes, I do. And now that makes sense. Okay.
All right. I think we've ruined everything enough for people.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a wrap on our Christmas show. I don't know if it's going to get any better than this.
It'll take some doing.
But this was great. This was a lot of fun, and we'll have to find something this ridiculous to do again. I don't know if anything this ridiculous even exists, but if it's out there, we'll find it and we'll talk about it.
Didn't think we topped Marvel, but we did. we
Oh, this
got
was more-
to put it
this
out
was a-
there. It's got to be something else.
This was a lot more fun than Marvel. Marvel. I'll take pinup art over block print any day.
But we've got to find out how those fish evolve, right?
Oh my god. All right, so tomorrow on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, we will review a movie that was released in theaters. We had to leave our house. We had to sit in a theater and watch it. Based on the hit video game Monster Hunter, is the movie with Mila Jovovich, Monster Hunter. So we'll do a Damn You Hollywood on that. But the last WWE show official event of the year was TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, oh my. And so the Podsmen will be getting together to review that as well. We're going to review most of it, and then we're going to talk about Randy Orton setting a dummy on fire, and I'm going to try not to slit my wrists.
I still got to finish watching that.
Oh my god, you are in for a treat, let me tell you.
I've tried watching it like 3 times already, and yeah, I get distracted by anything that isn't it. Just not watch it.
I said to some of the guys in a wrestling / combat sports chat that I'm in that I fell asleep during Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, woke up, realized I'd fallen asleep on the end of it, went back because I wanted to see how it ended. I was actually enjoying the match. I was just tired, and I fell asleep. I went back and I watched it. And then I fell asleep again, and when I woke up, Randy Orton was setting a dummy that looked like The Fiend on fire.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't care anymore, and I've wasted my life. And then I went to bed.
I don't think I like wrestling anymore.
But, however, we are not done with Christmas cheer. We will be reviewing Majestica, A Christmas Carol on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We found a Christmas album to review. We do this every year, and every year I panic because I can't find something, and something comes out. And so one year we did Tarja, oh Tarja Bomb. One year we just did a mix of different things. One year we did a band where I think they're from Sweden. They're a heavy metal band that dress up like dinosaurs. and they have multiple albums. One of them was a Christmas album.
How about that?
Yeah. I'm going to send you the link so that you can play it on Christmas Day as you open presents with your wife. It's phenomenal.
Do they do a cover of Last Christmas? Because everybody in the planet seems to have.
The latest one I've seen is by August Burns Red. Have you heard that one?
No.
Yeah. And then that's it, unless we end up doing a review of the Dynamite Holiday Bash. We'll see. I'll talk to Bailey about it. But that's it for that week. Last week, I gave you my heart. Mm-hmm. We did Batman 3 Jokers. Spent a long time discussing that one. It was myself, Chris Sheehan, and Alexis Haina.
That was just last week?
Yeah, it's been a long week, huh?
Yeah.
Myself and Jesse Stark to review the new Public Enemy album. And myself and the Screaming Boy, Ronnie Adams, reviewed the entire Community series. And then we ended the week with our latest chapter in the history of boxing. We talked about the real deal of Andrew Holyfield and, to a lesser extent, Riddick Bowe, Michael Moore, and against Pat Swiss's John Ruiz. And then I had an early Christmas gift. Robert Winfrey was done with UFC coverage early enough that we could provide alternative commentary for Canelo versus Callum Smith. So that's in the archives as well, and a lot of fun was had. I love doing the boxing commentaries, and I was very happy we could get that done. So I'm still on the lookout for someone who can do it a little bit more consistently out there in the boxing world. So if you happen to be one of those people in the Venn diagram who likes comics, bondage, and boxing...
And Santa...
then, and you're listening to this, then, hit me up and let's talk some boxing coverage. All right.
I'm going to audition. He punched him. He punched him. He blocked. He punched him.
That would require you to watch boxing, sir. And from what you've told me, you don't do that.
You don't even know what match I was even talking about right there. That's how good I am.
That's right. Like Chris likes to cover it generally.
It's so much easier that way.
Sure. Specificity is what killed boxing, they say. All right.
Totally.
So you're reading all the X-Men comics all the time and talking about it. Tell the people.
I am indeed. And this week, I'm taking a week off from the regular grind of X-Lapsed, where I read and cover issues of the recent X-Men, the current year X-Men, the stuff that you're probably meant to read once, take about 10 minutes to do so, put it aside, get to the next comic, read that one for 10 minutes, put it aside. Instead of doing that, I'm reading these things like 2 and 3 times, writing up like 25 pages of script, and then recording a show about them. So I'm spending like 5 hours on these books that really probably only deserve like 10, maybe 20. So I needed a little bit of a break from that. And luckily, we have a holiday this week. So instead of doing regular old X-Lapsed, I'm doing Merry X-Lapsed, where I'm going all throughout X-Men history and just picking out 5 of seminal and not so seminal Christmas issues to discuss. It's taken me all over the timeline here. We got a book from the very early Claremont run back in 1976. There's one from 1981, one from 1997, turn of the century. It's just been a really good time, a nice break from the routine because it's starting to wear on me. A lot of the books were kind of samey, which isn't the fault of a book because that's kind of what they're supposed to do. It's just when you devote so much time to trying to analyze something and trying to think of novel things to say about the same old thing that you need a little bit of a break like this. And Merry X-Lapsed has given me that break, and it was damn sure needed. So I'm having a good time doing it. Hopefully folks who do listen to the show won't be too turned off by the fact that we kind of shifted to something else just for this week. And hope they enjoy the coverage and my revisiting and rediscovering some stories that I really, really enjoyed.
Is there an issue of X-Men where Scott's given a large present for Christmas? He opens it up and it's a refrigerator, and he opens the refrigerator and inside is Jean Grey?
That's the one that Gail Simone wrote, right?
I practiced that joke before you said it, I'm not going to lie.
If only. There's none where, like, Nightcrawler beats up and potentially abuses Santa Claus. It's nothing like that, unfortunately. So.
Well, Chris Claremont has no imagination.
Yeah, some of his characters do have some bondagey outfits, but nothing like this.
That's true. Well, I remember someone did like a top 10 of like the worst outfits in comic book history, worn by women, and one of them, and I don't remember where, it was some independent comic, but it was literally like this whole, she was as they all are, a busty woman whose outfit was Warriors tassels, essentially. It's ridiculous.
Those are out there.
All right. Speaking of out there, we are done here on our very merry source material Christmas. We hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends while listening.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yes. Please share it with your friends while listening to I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, and The Hat I Got for Christmas Is Too Big, and Pansy Division's Homo Christmas. These are all great Christmas songs to share with your friends and spread Christmas cheer. For Chris Sheehan of the Cosmic Treadmill and X-Lapse, I'm Mark Radulich. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Mad Kwanzaa. Have a happy and safe holiday. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Make-believe kind of thing. Finding a friend in imagination. You didn't really need one. It was a close to all either.